Drink it in, man.
Kool-Aid drinkers, we're back with another edition of a Detroit Koolaid Cast Kool-Aid packet coming to you on a Monday. And folks, I'm excited because we're going to switch it up a little bit here. Your boy at Derek Oakery will be back on the flagship show this week with some dollars that make sense. But this is my favorite time of year for the NHL. That's right, folks. We're going to serve you up a red glass of that delicious Kool-Aid and talk all things Red Wings. A recap of the draft. We'll talk a little free agency. I can't wait to get to give you this content here. Again, you know I'm hashtag choppy hockey on the Twitterverse. Not only do I love our Lions, I'm a huge fan of the Red Wings. I loved hockey before I loved football. Spoiler alert, but hey, we got enough love in this on this podcast for the Detroit sports, except for the sport we shall not speak of. So as we like to say, we don't have time to mess around. Let's dive right into it. Again, like I said, my favorite time of the year. Free agency starts on Tuesday, July 1st. I expect the Red Wings to be making some moves. But before we dive into that, I want to talk about some draft. We had the day one, first round of the draft, of the NHL draft on Friday. Rolled into day two, rounds 2 through 7 on Saturday. First off, folks, if you watch this draft, you know it dragged on and on and on. I know the NHL is getting beat up on this new format they tried. It's like they tried to do it like football. They didn't quite do it like football. They wanted to have remote GMs, but then they had camera issues and freezing issues and all this other. It was a bunch of boola, if you ask me. They got some tweaks to do, but hey, let's get past that. So before I start diving into the picks that the Red Wings had, I want to talk about the NHL draft in comparison to the NFL draft. Like you all know, the NFL draft, there's one platform to pull from, and that's college. Here in the United States, occasionally you'll see a guy from the CFL, or maybe you'll see a dude from overseas, picked here, but that's a very rare thing. In the NHL, these GMs and teams are tasked with pulling players from over a dozen leagues. And that's in the US, that's in Canada, it's Sweden, it's Russian, it's all over the map. Heck, there's even high schoolers that get drafted out of some of these big named schools in the different states. So it's just a totally different animal. You're picking kids that are like 17 to sometimes 19 years old. So, again, there's a lot that can happen before these guys even really start to mature as players. You draft on a lot of potential. You love to look at their stats, but a lot of it does end up being a little bit of luck here and there too. And the crazy thing is with the NHL draft this year, there's a really high chance that no one selected in this draft will start opening night on their NHL team. So that's how much different it is. I mean, when you're drafting at the NFL level, you're drafting a stud and you're expecting them to be a starter on day one going into camp. With these Red Wings and this NHL draft, it's a wait and see kind of game. You hope they play well. You got to have a ton of scouting. You got to have a little bit of luck, and you got to have a lot of patience too.
This episode is brought to you by Buick. Buick certified service technicians are factory trained to fit your vehicle with the tires specifically developed for it. And with our tire price match guarantee, you get the best fit for the best deal. Buick, exceptional by design. Available on select eligible tire brands at participating dealers only. Offer ends 12/31/2025. Terms apply. See dealer for complete details. Visit Buick.com/service to learn more.
It's summer. Time to enjoy long days, lazy nights, and great food. Because Uber Eats has deals all summer long. So, when hunger strikes, don't sweat it. Delicious deals are just a tap away on Uber Eats. Enjoy all your favorite grocery items delivered straight to you. Get ice cream, soda, and snacks from your favorite stores like Wegmans and CVS and make the most of every moment. Now that sounds like a good summer. Order now on Uber Eats. Terms apply. Product availability varies by region. See app for details.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
Are your business expenses playing hide and seek? With Uber for Business, the small spends that slip through the cracks, like rides and meals, go right where you need them. Because it integrates with leading expense platforms, you can say goodbye to surprise costs, missing dollars, or chasing receipts. Everything's track downable. Uber for Business. Make small steps that make a big impact. Learn more at uber.com/small steps.
Hey, this is Bill Simmons from the Bill Simmons Podcast, here to help you make the most of your summer with Michelob Ultra, a superior light beer worth playing for. Play for it with the guys when you're competing to see who can sink more birdies on the golf course, because winning tastes even better with Ultra on the line. Play for Ultra. Fill your fridge with Michelob Ultra this summer. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025 Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
So all that being said, let's dive into some of these picks that the Red Wings selected. I'm not going to go through the whole gambit because there was a big list of them, but I'm going to touch on a few of the players specifically and give you some of my insight on what I think on these guys. The first pick, the 13th pick overall for our Red Wings. Again, center left winger Carter Bear. I'm sure you guys have heard and read up on this guy. You've heard a lot of rumors. You've heard a lot of things. Again, because it's the first round pick, that's where people focus on. They expect this guy to make him, some people would come in saying, well, Choppy, how come this guy can't play on the Red Wings next year? Well, he's 18 years old and he's pretty young. So I love this kid. I think this is a great pick. When we were on the clock, I was leaning more towards the Swedish kid, Euclid. But I will say that I trust the Red Wings when it comes to drafting players out of Sweden. So I like this pick. Again, super tenacious, smart, skilled. He generated a lot of offense last year. I think 40 goals, 82 points in 56 games. He's physical. He does not shy away from contact. I really expect this guy to be a top 6 forward, probably on the wing for the Red Wings. I'm hoping by 2027 he can be knocking on the door. He's going to go back to his minor league club next year. I'm thinking maybe a year in the AHL in Grand Rapids next year, and it'd be really great to see this dude ready to go to start the 2027 season for our Red Wings. Again, I really like him a lot. I think he fits the bill well, playing on a line with Casper, who is currently in the NHL, and then MBN, which we know is our fun right winger, who's in Grand Rapids this year. But that 3 line, all tenacious, all have scoring touch. I think that would be a really sweet second line eventually with these Red Wings when it comes time to the future. But a really good pick there in Carter Bear. On to our second pick in the second round, 44th overall, Eddie. Oh my gosh. And I'm going to slaughter this kid's name. So, I'm going to apologize right off the bat, but it's Eddie Genborg, right winger. Again, playing in the Swedish Elite League as a 17-year-old, which is really tough to do. These Swedish leagues, there's several tiers of them, and this guy played in the highest one as a 17-year-old, which is very impressive. Didn't put up a ton of stats, but he played really well there. Again, another physical, two-way forward, does a lot of great things. He loves to forecheck, and the kid just can create a lot of havoc in front of the net. Again, I expect this guy to be more of like a third line grinder type role, who's going to pop in a timely goal when you need it. He's not going to put up a ton of points in the NHL, which is, again, kind of tough to save for a second rounder. And that's just how much different these drafts really are. But I think this guy has a good path to the Red Wings, probably 2027, 2028, more in a support role, top 9 instead of a top 6 role. But again, another great pick by the Red Wings. I love this kid's mentality and his tenacity. Moving on to the third round, another guy I want to talk about, Michael Pradl. And again, this is a pick 75 in the third round, big Slovak goalie. And folks, when I say big, I mean big. 6'5", 195 pounds. It's crazy to me to think that these goalies are so big now that they can be that tall, yet so athletic, so flexible. This dude is very smooth for his size, tracks the puck really, really well. And again, I love the fact that the Red Wings continue to add to their goalie depth. Of course, we know that we've got Kosa in the works. We've got Trey Augustine, Pride of South Lyon, playing at MSU. So we won't hold the green thing against him, but he's a local kid here that we love. My kids actually have a lot of love for Trey Augustine. Can't wait for him to be in the Red Wings. But again, just adding to that goaltender pool with Michael Prattle coming out of Slovakia. Last guy that I want to talk about is, let's see here. Let's talk about Michael Sverchek, 4th round, 119th picked. He's a left winger. And folks, this is an absolute steal for me in the 4th round at pick 119. Michael was projected at times earlier in the year to be a potential 1st round pick. I think Elite Prospects had him a consensus of like pick 65 prospect. So to get him at 119 is a huge value. He's a smaller guy, lot of upside, definitely is high motor, high pace. Again, he's got that scoring touch. He's going to be a smaller dude, but he's pesty. Like he's going to piss people off. He applies a ton of pressure. He's in your face, and he likes to finish checks, but he also scores quite a bit too. So to get this guy at that value, pick 119, I think is just awesome for our Red Wings.
Amazon One Medical presents Painful Thoughts.
I've been on hold to make a doctor's appointment for 23 minutes now. The automated voice has told me 47 times that my call is very important to them. I'm starting to think that they don't think my call is important at all.
With Amazon One Medical 24/7 virtual care, you'll get help fast without having to remain on the line to make an appointment. Amazon One Medical. Healthcare just got less painful.
Running a business comes with a lot of what-ifs. But luckily, there's a simple answer to them. Shopify. It's the commerce platform behind millions of businesses, including Thrive Cosmetics and Momofuku. And it'll help you with everything you need. From website design and marketing to boosting sales and expanding operations, Shopify can get the job done and make your dream a reality. Turn those what-ifs into... Sign up for your $1 per month trial at shopify.com/special offer.
Parents of tweens, if you're familiar with far-off drop-offs...
Dad, stop, right here.
Or get DMs about what's for dinner, you may be experiencing tween milestones. For your son or daughter, these can start at age 9. HPV vaccination, a type of cancer prevention against certain HPV-related cancers, can start then too.
For most, HPV clears on its own. But for those who don't clear the virus, it can cause certain cancers later in life.
Embrace this phase. Help protect them in the next.
Ask their doctor today about HPV vaccination. Brought to you by Merck.
Home means something different to everyone. But with Rocket Mortgage, home can mean even more. It can mean a college education, taming your high-interest debt, even a renovation. We've made it easier than ever to use your home equity. That home you worked so hard for, now it can work hard for you. Call 800-4ROCKET or visit rocket.com to find out more.
Rocket Mortgage, LLC. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org. Number 3030.
With EA Sports College Football 26, you can rise from high school recruit to Heisman legend or cement your legacy as a coach by leading your program to glory. Pre-order the deluxe edition of the game today as part of the MVP bundle at go.ea.com/MVP-bundle to start playing 3 days early and more. EA Sports College Football 26 is rated E for everyone. Includes in-game purchases, including random items.
So to kind of give put a little bow on the draft, in total we drafted 1 goalie, 2 defenders, 5 forwards, a little bit, pretty standard, a goalie there, a few less defenders than Stevie Y has been known to do. But again, he got some late round Will Murphy pick 172, and then Nikita Turin at pick 140. So our last 2 picks were focused on defense. But again, I think both those guys are more stay at home too. So a lot of defense in the pipeline with ASP, Johannesburg. Of course, we know we got Mo Saida and then Simon Edvinson as well. So the Wings D prospect pool is pretty good. So overall, I like this draft by Yzerman. I know it's hard to grade these drafts again because you just don't know what these kids are going to end up being, but I think we addressed some needs. He continued to take players, specifically forwards, that fit that mold that he likes, tenacious, all over, in your face, ready to go. But the biggest news coming out of the draft was not actually the players that we picked. Oh no. Stevie Y had a nice little trick up his sleeve to kick off day 2. He traded for the best available goalie on the market right now in John Gibson. I am very excited to have this guy. Stevie was able to package up Peter Mrazek along with a 2027 second round pick and a 2025 fourth round pick, which he was actually able to recoup back that fourth round pick with a trade later in this draft. So really, it was a nice little net positive getting John Gibson pretty much for Peter Mrazek and a second round pick when it was all said and done. The nice thing about this pick is that we add a legit guy who can be a number 1 goalie. He's going to pair really well with Cam Talbot. We won't ask him to do too much because, to load the shoulder of 60 plus games. It'll be a nice split with him, a nice 1A, 1B, and he only cost us another $2.1 million on the cap. We were able to ship out Mrazek's 4.2, bring in John Gibson's 6.3. We've got him for another 2 years, and this just really is a nice player that is going to fill in. He's going to bridge that gap to when Kosa and Augustine are ready to go. I have very high expectations for John Gibson to really lock down. I expect him to be the starter. I expect Cam Talbot to definitely play a lot of games. I'm thinking probably like a 50-30 split somewhere in there. But this is a really, really nice move to grab the best goalie. Stevie is always looking for goalies. He has been year after year. Alex Lyon is a free agent, shipping off Peter Mrazek's contract. So again, just a big net positive for a little bit of cap space. This is a really great move.
What does every USAA member have in common? Family. We're one big family who supports the military community and their eligible families. And if you, your parent, or spouse served, you could join our family and save big on auto insurance. Visit USAA.com/join today to check your eligibility. Membership eligibility and product restrictions apply and are subject to change. USAA means United Services Automobile Association and its affiliates, San Antonio, Texas.
The Abercrombie Kids Summer Sale is in full swing, with up to 50% off select styles for the season. Summer plans, vacation, and camp days are all covered with new dresses, shorts, tees, and swim. Abercrombie Kids has the summer staples they need and the looks that they want to wear. Shop in-store, online, or in the app. Offer applies to select styles as indicated. Discount applied at checkout online.
Hey, it's Paris. You know I love sparkly things, right? Like stars. Duh. And thanks to Hilton and AutoCamp, I just slept under them. Picture me, serving looks by the fire outside my luxurious Airstream, making s'mores with the kids, while a national park is our backdrop. The great outdoors meets Hilton hospitality. That's hot. Explore all the new ways to stay at Hilton.com. Hilton for the stay.
Is anyone out there?
Another salesperson enduring the endless search. Exhausting. If you want to get right to the right conversations, you need LinkedIn Sales Navigator. Whether you're looking for new leads or strengthening existing relationships at your top accounts, get right to the right conversations with LinkedIn Sales Navigator. Try LinkedIn Sales Navigator now with a free 60-day trial at linkedin.com/trial. That's linkedin.com/trial.
Terms and conditions apply!
My day kicks off with a refreshing Celsius energy drink, then straight to the gym. Pre-K pickup, back home to meal prep. Time for my fire station shift. One more Celsius, gotta keep the lights on. When the 3-alarm hits, I'm ready. Celsius. Live, fit, go. Grab a cold, refreshing Celsius at your local retailer or locate now at Celsius.com.
speaking of cap space, let's talk about the Red Wings' current cap space after the Gibson deal. Currently, the Red Wings are sitting at about $18 million in money to spend this year on free agency. It's a nice chunk of change. Of course, we know there's going to be some big fish in this pond come July 1st. I don't know if Stevie's going to necessarily be looking to reel in one of those big ones. But I know there's a few things that he's got to tidy up on his own end first before he's able to go fishing. And the first one is Patrick Kane. I fully expect Patrick Kane. It's both sides have interest. Patrick Kane wants to be here. We want him here. I expect to use about $4 million of that $18 million to get him re-signed. He fits really nicely with Casper and DeBrincat on the second line. Just, of course, that power play specialist. Great hands, great vision. I know he's getting up in age, but man, this guy is just so silky smooth, still has not lost a step. He's not a burner. He's not going to, wow you on the defensive end of the puck, but man, if he can keep lighting the light and just netting in goals along with DeBrincat and Casper, I think that's a really solid second line for our Red Wings, especially knowing that we addressed the goalie situation. And, a little bit of other housekeeping. We need to re-sign Johnny Burgers. He's an RFA. Elmer Soderblom, another RFA, and then Albert Johansson on the back end. 3 UFAs that Stevie's got to sign and or deal, which, we'll talk a little bit about some potential deals here coming up. But I'm expecting about $3.5 to $4 million to be enough to lock in those 3 guys. And that's going to say, so right there after Kane, you're probably looking at about $10 million available to sign free agencies. All that being said, it's no secret that Stevie is shopping Tarasenko. He's got a $4.75 million cap hit. He just did not produce the way we thought he would. Another defender that's kind of a depth guy, could never really crack the lineup. Justin Hall at $3.4 million. I don't know if he's really movable unless you eat a bunch of his contract, but if they were able to somehow free up another $6 million with those 2 guys in a trade, it would be really great to have that extra 6 to add to the 10, give you $16 to $17 million to be able to go after a couple of free agents. Before we dive into the UFAs, I want to talk about one restricted free agent that I would love to absolutely find a way to get in, and that is Keandre Miller. He's plays for the New York Rangers. He's a 25-year-old restricted free agent. The Rangers are in a bit of a cap crunch. Some of you thought maybe the Red Wings would be on Noah Dobson. I thought the price was way too high for Noah. 2 first-round picks and a very highly touted prospect, way more than Stevie was willing to pay. But Keandre Miller might be a guy that, man, if you could get him for if you could somehow get the Rangers to take Tarasenko and that contract, or maybe even, the restricted free agent that we talked about, Jonathan Berggren, and pair him up with a second or maybe 2 seconds to get Keandre Miller, I think this dude, that I would absolutely pull the trigger on that. He's going to need a contract extension, probably around $6 million. So you got to be aware of that. If you're sitting at 16 and you're able to somehow get him at 6, still leaves you 10 million to make some moves in the offseason once the UFAs hit. But I would love to see Stevie try to make a deal for this player. He mentioned after the draft that, the free agent market is tough. There's going to be a lot of money. Lots of teams have money. Trades have been a little bit tricky too, because you got more teams that think they can compete. But I think if the Rangers are really going to be in a cap crunch, they need to save some money. They've got their own RFAs, other RFAs to sign. They need some scoring depth, which Keandre Miller does not add to that. He's much more of a stay-at-home defenseman, but he can log a ton of minutes, and he's really that shutdown defender that the Red Wings could really, really use, whether you pair him up with Mo Seider probably. But I would love to see a deal for Keandre Miller to come wear the winged wheel, and if we could somehow get them to take some money on a contract from us, that would be great. But that's an RFA that I'm kind of on the lookout for.
Jif peanut butter. It's that Jiffing good. It doesn't really need advertising. So instead, enjoy the calming sounds of the ocean. Jif. Ooh, it's that Jiffing good. Get your Jif at Jif.com.
This episode is brought to you by Polestar. There's only one true way to experience the all-electric luxury SUV Polestar 3. and that's to take a test drive. It can go from 0 to 60 in as little as 4.8 seconds with the dynamic handling of a sports car. But to truly understand how it commands the road, you need to be behind the wheel. Up to 350 miles of range, the 3D surround sound system by Bowers & Wilkins. It's all something you have to experience to believe. So book your test drive for Polestar 3 today at polestar.com.
Hey, business owners, we know you know the importance of maximizing every dollar. With the Delta SkyMiles Reserve Business American Express card, you can make your expenses work just as hard as you. From afternoon coffee runs to stocking office supplies and even team dinners, you can earn miles on all your business expenses. Plus, you can earn 110,000 bonus miles for a limited time through July 16th. The Delta SkyMiles Reserve Business Card. If you travel, you know. Minimum spending requirements and terms apply. Offer ends 7/16/25.
If you went on a road trip and you didn't stop for a Big Mac or drop a crispy fry between the car seats or use your McDonald's bag as a placemat, then that wasn't a road trip. It was just a really long drive. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
At participating McDonald's.
Hey, it's Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Now, I was looking for fun ways to tell you that Mint's offer of unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month is back. So I thought it would be fun if we made $15 bills. But it turns out that's very illegal. So there goes my big idea for the commercial. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
Couple of UFAs that I'm looking at. And again, I think all the talk out there is that we're really looking for D. We need a top 4 defenseman. Right now we're sitting at Simon Edvinsson, and we know that we're, of course, looking at Mo Saida. And then you've got Ben Sherrod in the mix, and then a couple of guys that really should be slotted down on that lower end with Eric Gustafsson and William Lagsson. Of course, Albert Johansson is another guy that could slot up into that top 4 as well. Played really, really well on the left side when the Red Wings needed him. And then Justin Hall, you just don't know what you're going to do with there, but kind of hoping that guy's not on the team. But if we could sign a nice right-handed defenseman to either pair up with Ben Sherratt, Albert Johansson, or Simon Edvinsson, it would be really nice to lock in that top 4 pair with that. And see, these are some of the names that I'm looking at. Aaron Ekblad. He announced that he's going to test the free agent market. I know the Florida Panthers were hoping to re-sign him. He's 29 years old, but he would fit so nicely. He's a right-handed shot, so he would probably pair up with one of our current lefties, either Sherratt or Edvinsson on pair 2, but would lock in that top 4. He's a proven winner. He can put up the stats, but he's got a solid D game. He's going to cost you money. Probably, I think, right now projected to make about $8 million a year, which again it's a tough pill to swallow, but man, we really need to lock up that top 4 pair. We address the goaltending situation. The Red Wings got to do something to keep the pucks out of their own net. We generated plenty of offense, deadly power play, but man, we got to lock it up defensively. And I think Aaron Ekblad would be a really nice fit. It's no secret. He mentioned he wants to really kind of get closer to home. He's a Windsor, Ontario native, which really, if he's eyeing up Toronto and Detroit, that could be our in, because Toronto is not going to have the cap space to sign this guy. It would be really nice to get I don't want to say a hometown discount, because I don't expect him to take less money, but it would be nice to get a hometown deal, much like we did with DeBrincat, where he wanted to come to Detroit. He wanted to be back in Michigan. If we could get Aaron Ekblad on step, in lock with the Red Wings, I think he's a player that really pushes us into that playoff mode, which it's been a long time, people. It's been way too long. 9 years of no playoffs in Hockeytown is a travesty. It would be fantastic to hit that playoff mark in our centennial year, 100 years of the Red Wings. Man, I really hope they can get that done. Another D that will be highly coveted in the UFA market is Vlad Gavrikov. He's a stay-at-home D, very, very solid. He's currently, played for the LA Kings this last year. He logs a ton of minutes. He's a left-handed shot, so again, you'd probably pair him up with Mo Saida, and he's the kind of guy that just does all the tough things. He's solid in front of the net. He's physical. He's not going to generate much offense, but he's got a great first pass, and he's really going to allow his partner to be more offensive. So I think he could really open up Mo Seider's game offensively if we were able to somehow lock that guy in. He's projected to make anywhere, probably around 7.5 million AVV. It'd be really nice to see Stevie work his magic and be able to get Vlad into the winged wheel. He will be highly coveted, though. I know there's a lot of teams that are already talking to his agent that, the tampering period, or quote unquote, has already started, even though free agency is still a few days away. But man, Vlad would be a great add to the Red Wings.
My cat Freddie loves to be brushed and cuddled. But stirring up his cat allergens meant sneezing and itchy eyes. Then I found Purina One Live Clear. It's cat food that reduced the major allergen and my suffering in as little as 21 days. Now, we feel closer than ever. If you have issues with cat allergens, you really need to try Purina One Live Clear.
Try new Purina One Live Clear today. Purina One, a difference from day one.
Your gut affects everything, even your mood. So Ollie created 2 brand new products to take care of your insides. Ollie Big 10 Probiotic has 10 strains of probiotics, their most ever, to support a healthy gut microbiome, immune system, and stress response. And Ollie Super Good Superfoods delivers 15 superfoods in tasty gummy form. Find them at ollie.com and exclusively at Walmart.
Ollie!
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Walmart Business saves you time, money, and hassle, which means you can focus on what really matters, like putting the money you save back into what you do, spending more time training your team, filling orders, and finding new clients. Anything and everything, right down to, oh, that's one, choosing the best hold music. Walmart Business. It's the Walmart you love, now for your business. Learn more at business.walmart.com.
Everyone who works at Starbucks, full or part-time, gets stock in our company, simply for being part of our company. That's why we call our employees partners, because when Starbucks succeeds, our people do too. And that success turns into down payments, family vacations, and so much more. At Starbucks, benefits like company stock are just the start. Learn more about how we support partners at starbucks.com/partners.
Learning through play starts with Lego Duplo. With Lego Duplo, toddlers can develop real-life skills while having fun with colorful bricks made just for them. Large, easy to grip, and safe to explore. When children express themselves with Lego Duplo, they build patience, problem-solving, and empathy. See your child learn perseverance and self-expression with everything they imagine and create. Visit lego.com/preschool to learn more.
All right, let's shift over to the forward side. Not as big of a need for me. Obviously, I'm not going to turn my nose up to adding some good scoring or some hard-nosed players. But of course, I feel like I can't get away without mentioning Mitch Marner. There's no way the Red Wings are getting into a bidding war for Mitch Marner. He's going to command $14 million a year. There's already talks of Toronto doing a sign and trade because they just can't afford him. The rumblings are Vegas. Of course, gosh, that'd be awful because they just seem to get so many high-end players. I don't even know how that team is even cap compliant. But Mitch Marner is going to be, he's the top fish. The Red Wings are not going to be, in my opinion, looking into that. I would love him. I think people, some people had the audacity to dog some of his play. The guy puts up 100 points a year and he's done it multiple times. Like there's nothing to frown on with Mitch Marner. People complaining, oh, he disappears in the playoffs, but like, doesn't everybody in Toronto disappear in the playoffs? So I don't hold that against Mitch Marner, but Mitch is going to be a really great ad for some team and he's going to make buco bucks. Another big cat on the free agency that I could see the Wings actually making a nice little play for is Nikolai Ehlers out of Vancouver. He would slot in so nicely on that top line as a left winger with Dylan Larkin and Lucas Raymond. He's 29 years old. Dude is deadly on the power play. He's been in the league for 10 years. I think he's averaging about 0.8 points per game over his career. He's probably going to cost you $8 million. So again, a pretty penny to bring this guy in. But man, he's going to be in demand. But this is a big fish I would not mind taking a swing at. I would love to see this guy on the winged wheel. Yes, he's going to be expensive. He's going to cost you around what Lucas Raymond does. But man, he would fit on that top line, and that would really allow you to still run with, Larkin, Raymond, Ellers on the line 1, line 2 with Casper, Kane, and DeBrincat. And then you're looking at your third line of like Andrew Kopp, which again he's a nice third line guy. You can look at Elder Soderblom, Michael Rasmussen, maybe another depth winger you get in there, or you could even shift JT Compher up onto that third line too and go Compher with Comp, which I like too. Both of those guys, they make a bit of money, Compher and Kopp, but they're just solid two-way dudes. Again, there's a lot of hate out there for these two guys, but they do a lot of the same thing. But yes, I understand they make $5 million a year, but they do a lot of things. They're the types of guys that win you games in the playoffs because you got to have that scoring depth and guys that are willing to play a 200-foot game. So a couple other names out there that, I wouldn't be surprised. These are more of your bargain bin guys, but I would not be surprised if they're the types of players that Steve Yzerman is looking at more. I'm looking at like Anthony Beauvillier, a left winger coming out of the Islanders. Brandon Saad, I think at Vegas as a left winger. Ryan Lindgren is a left D who I think he's got some sneaky potential that he would slot well with the Red Wings as well. He wouldn't be that stud that just jumps right into your top 4, but I like him. He's got a lot of upside. And then Victor Olofsson is another left winger too that I think the Red Wings could look at. All those guys are more in the range of $2 to $4 million a year, but would be solid contributors for this Red Wings team. All right, folks, I hope you've enjoyed this Red Kool-Aid packet, talking all things Red Wings. I know this is a Lions podcast, but we do love our Detroit sports, and not to worry. Our host of the show, Derek Oakrey, will be talking dollars that make sense on the flagship show this Wednesday. But for now, I hope you drink it in, enjoy the red Kool-Aid, and we'll catch you next time on the Detroit Koolaid Cast. Woo! # choppy hockey.